Yeah, hello. Welcome to the next module of PMdistilled series explaining PMBOK. Uh, the objective of this module is to explain the structure of the project management body of knowledge, also known as PMBOK. Uh, we'll be talking things around the project management body of knowledge 4th edition, which is the current version. So PMI is the author of this particular collection of best uh, globally accepted project management best practices, again contributed by volunteers. So this is a wealth of knowledge for project managers, because it talks about around 42 processes which are classified among 9 knowledge areas and 5 process groups. The PMBOK is published by PMI, that is the Project Management Institute USA. The newer, every 4 years they release a new version, and it's a collection of globally accepted project management best practices. So that way I envy you, because when I was doing project management, the learning curve was very very big, in the sense today if you hear something like ballpark estimate, and by the time you hear about you master earned value management, a couple of years is over. Now everything is given to you in the form of a body of knowledge. All that you need to do is leverage on it, have the passion to understand it, and practice it at the workplace. Around over 3 million PMBOK guides are in circulation, so we are not talking about the pirated copies. If you put the pirated copies along with this 3 million, I am sure that it is going to be maybe around 10 million even. There are 9 knowledge areas. We're talking about integration management, scope, time, cost, quality, risk, communications, human resources, and procurement. So initially, when I started my training career, people used to ask me like, "Oh, AB, all these things, is it applicable for every project?" And initially I used to say no, but then these days I'll say yes, because every project has the elements of all these things. So some projects, okay, these things are very intense, whereas for a small project, uh, everything may be in the project manager's mind, whereas in a large project everything may be documented and may be performed by different internal or external teams. So for every project, all the traces of all these things are there. Uh, Apart from the 9 knowledge areas, there are 5 process groups and 42 processes. When we say 5 process groups, it gives the natural flow of a project, like initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing. This is a natural flow of a project. A project charter formally initiates the project. A project manager is identified. Then the project manager gets into planning and develops a project management plan, and then the project is executed as per the plan, and throughout all these phases it is monitored and controlled for adherence to the plan, and at the end of every phase and at the end of the project there is formal closing. So all these things are done by executing 42 processes and are grouped into 9 knowledge areas and 5 process groups. That means every process, each one of these 42 processes is linked to one knowledge area, and it is linked to one process group. So this is a structure of PMBOK, where develop project charter is a process. It is linked to project integration management knowledge area, and it is linked to initiation process group. Similarly, identify stakeholders is the second process which comes under initiation process group, and it is linked to communication management knowledge area. And develop project management plan is a process under planning process group, and it is linked to integration management knowledge area. Similarly, collect requirements is a process which is linked to planning process group, and it is part of the project scope management knowledge area. So every individual process in the PMBOK is linked to one knowledge area, and it is linked to one process group. See, it is humanly impossible to by heart all these things, but then the easiest form of learning this could be just understand it, and once you understand things, okay, over a period of time, you will be all these things will come to you naturally. Like during initiation, a project sponsor develops a project charter and a project manager is identified, and that gives authority to the project manager. And the next step the sponsor does is prepare a stakeholder register and then identify the stakeholders and prioritize them. And he develops a project charter, and along with the stakeholder register, that becomes the input for the planning phase, which is performed by the project owner, the project manager. So that way, see, there is a logical sequence. So first, let us understand it. Then automatically, based on reasoning, you will be able to recollect the sequences, than blindly by hearting all these things. The PMP and PMBOK, the Project Management Professional Exam, comprises of 200 questions revolving around PMBOK, and most of the questions will be scenario-based questions, and there could be some direct questions as well. So it is not a fruitful investment if you spend too much time in understanding the inputs, tools, and techniques and outputs. So whatever you can score correctly based on your reasoning and understanding during the exam, okay, that will suffice. But if you put too much effort in by hearting, then you can be in trouble. More details about how to prepare for the PMP exam will be covered in our next module. Till then, you wait, and thank you very much.